And we're live.
Yeah, brother. What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. We back. I'm gonna try to get what's good, people. It's your boy, Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy, WordPlay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. Episode
222.
We got a response back.
Cold World.
He's out here.
Out here.
Jason Alexander.
Jason
Des Moines. Collington. He's back. He's doing what we expected him to do.
Yeah.
And that's 5 shots back at Mr. Kendrick Aloysius
How did I know you was going to say Aloysius? Hubert Eugene
Lamar.
the third.
So he's in here. He's dropped his entire Might Delete Later. I would call it an album. Some people would call it a mixtape. But it's out now. And at the end of it comes 7-Minute Drill, which is the response to Kendrick Lamar based off of Kendrick Lamar's This Is From Like That, Metro Boomin and Future featuring Kendrick Lamar. So if you're ready, I'm ready to hear 7-Minute Drill, and then we'll come back and then we'll break it down for the audience. Mr. Jermaine Cole, 7-Minute Drill.
I think, this was the most amazing use of jabs. It is shadow boxing. There were no haymakers thrown. This is a heat check of what is this?
Yeah. So I think from a fan's point of view, this might be some really light work. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's trying to figure out, bro, come on now. We homies. What you doing? Because of that, I think this is also one of those moments where there's a fight between two people, and then homie number 3 catches a
random stray. The lightest of strays.
And then he's like, nigga, I'm not even in this. So why? And then comes back with one. And so I think that from a fan's point of view, this is kind of meh.
Yeah. I can see that, but I also know, for me, the sport of okay, let's see what this is. I ain't gotta jump out here crazy, being I'm not a kid, so I'm not gonna jump out here chopping your head off, being disrespectful, doing all the stuff that quote unquote the lesser fan or the casual fan wants to see. Mm-hmm. We actually fool with each other, and I need to know what this is. But it's competition, and I'm gonna hop out wherever you want to hop out at, and it can be whatever it's gonna be. But there are so many different keys and changing points. I like the fact that he acknowledges in the beginning it's light work.
If we're gonna get into the lyrics, let's get into the lyrics. So chorus, right? Mm-hmm. It's light work, like PWC.
For those of you who don't know, that's predominantly white collar.
Is it? Mm-hmm. There's also a company called PWC in Fayetteville that does lights.
I also thought it was because, a lot of white folks, a lot of light-skinned people.
Double entendre.
Could be.
He's good at words.
But then it's just addressing the thing. People have been calling my phone. This is kind of like he did a verse on Justin Timberlake's TKO on a remix where he addressed the Control verse. He didn't address it, he addressed it the same way that kind of Big Crit did, which was, he didn't even diss me on this song. Y'all are really taking this to a different place. You don't actually understand the competition of hip hop. Most of y'all will push everything to a Ja Rule 50 Cent type thing versus how we actually compete in the sport. He got pinched and I told him, chill out. How I look having henchmen, if shots get to popping, I'm the one doing clinching.
Right.
So it's it's gonna be me.
Let me handle it.
Let me handle this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because so often in these songs, especially Drake songs can come off real. I got people that'll do the job. Yeah. But I don't really want to do the job.
I mean, and that's another one of those things. It's he kind of is sort of burying Drake's clout and making he's in some ways kind of bigging up Kendrick's point of view and saying we handle things ourselves. Yeah. Me and K-Dot. You call somebody else.
The other part about this that's so great and nice is he's specific. So it's not like the stray he called was, ain't no big three. It's just big me. Mm-hmm. That is the part he called. And then maybe like these niggas clicking up.
First person, yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, like everything that J. Cole does in this verse is super duper direct. And I like how he broke it down to he's still doing shows, but he fell off like The Simpsons, which if you look at just the general landscape of how Kendrick Lamar is, that's something that can be believable. Not to say that I feel like he's falling off.
I don't think the fans think he falling off. It's
more so like he's one of those, if I don't have nothing, I'm not popping out. And that, like, using that kind of the way you are against you, I like that line.
I think it's a weak line. And I think it's weak because The Simpsons is long-standing and consistent, no matter, like, The Simpsons is our age. What Cole does is he actually contradicts his point by saying he doesn't release enough. So you can't compare him to The Simpsons, which is actually regular.
Yeah.
You can compare him to the amount of attention that The Simpsons get, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I think he should have used another metaphor.
I'm only cool with it just because it's like, it's a jab, so I'm not trying to end you. I'm just bringing attention to certain things, which is why he then goes into, your first shit was classic. It was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it.
Yeah, let's break that down slowly, right? Because I think we got some. This is where most of the audience has garnered some attention when we talk about both of their first albums. Like how we feel.
I'm going Good Kid, Mad City
over
Sideline Story.
Yeah, I would say Sideline Story is definitely not a classic, and I don't think J. Cole had a classic until maybe Born Center, but I would say 2014, actually.
Definitely 2014. Which I think what you was saying, like around the time that Damn came out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which was like, as he mentions later, like you were in your prime on this one.
You're moving too fast.
Oh, my bad. So to go back to the line, so he would basically say he is admitting that Good Kid, Mad City is a classic, that there's a lot more speculation and debate over Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Not so much that it's not a classic. Like, you don't win Pulitzers off of being ass or like being tragic in that way.
Let's talk about the second album though. To Pimp a Butterfly.
So this is the one where it's just debatable. To Pimp a Butterfly was with the jazz tones in a much slower poetic album. Thematically, that was intentional. It was dealing with the duality of you versus I. We gonna be all right. And so I do think, like, coming off of Good Kid, Mad City, which was made like a movie in a sense, and then you're going to like a different medium of putting stuff out. Like, yeah, it's a slower album. Do I think that a lot of people go back to that album? Not really. So I kind of agree with the point a little bit.
I can't find the line, but Kendrick came out and even admitted on Damn that I tried to give y'all the cheat code. I tried to save my people in this second project, and y'all didn't mess with that. So I think Cole is right here because even Kendrick admits it on the third album.
The fourth one, I think. The only relative point that he's making, I don't think it was tragic, but I don't think it resonates with younger kids as much because it's the grown man, this is what therapy has done for me album.
Even Cole saying, this is your prime? Mm-hmm. How can you say that? You know what I mean? Like, is it his prime, so to speak? Like, I don't feel like Kendrick has released enough to even know where his prime is at the moment.
Which, again, like we say later on, contradicts the point. But I get what he's saying. Now, I would say for certain, we know that Cole is in his prime.
Yeah, I would argue, and he admits that, right? Yeah. That he is in his prime, right? I was trailing right behind, and now I just hit mine. I don't know how you define Kendrick's prime. Is it the accolades? Is it, you know what I mean, the tours? Is it because he decided to, is he seated well into his family life? You know what I mean? Like, is it his prime because he's grown now? Because you could argue that, like, if that's the case, then what about Fold Clothes? What about, you know what I mean? What about those? those projects, 2014, and then I can't remember the album that For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
I would argue that J. Cole, if we're comparing apples to apples, that is J. Cole's prime, and this is a resurgence. This is not a prime. This is a resurgence for Cole.
I also think that it's just a matter of Cole being out of the three. His lyrical essence is the one that I think is the most consistent. Like, I think when Drake is not having a lyrical moment, he can bring out a pop hit. Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily notice his lyrical lulls as much if you're not looking for that. And much like we said earlier, Kendrick doesn't come out enough for there to even be like a real notice. I think that he's so careful. Like, he is Prince in the sense that he takes his craft very seriously. He's not an artist that's gonna rush for clout. Again, I don't think, even those shots were kind of hit and miss just because it's like, this ain't about clout. Yeah. Because he don't get nothing from this. He already dropped the album. He ain't coming out with another album as far as we know.
Right.
No time soon. Now, would that be something that I think is smart given the PG Lang, jump off point? Seeing as I don't necessarily know if Baby Keem has anything coming. Let's get back to these lyrics, just because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's interesting to see the thought process that the artists are having in this back and forth.
I got hair off bars, not controversy. Funny thing about it, I don't even want the prestige. Mm-hmm. From a fan point of view, it seems like they're actually in the same mental space, quite honestly. They just go about it differently. Cole is very secure, and he's admitted this on My Delete Later. Mm-hmm. He's very secure about releasing stuff without worrying about what the outcome is going to be. Mm-hmm. He'd just rather get it out than to hold on to it. And, that his manager has said, like, why are you holding on to this? Why are you holding on to that? Why are you holding on to this? It's one of the stories he tells in the album. And so I don't think he's worried about that anymore.
Yeah, no, I think this was more like, I really am enjoying the sport to enjoy it. The other line that was like, my favorite line in this is the, I'm Nino with the thing. Just that New Jack City meme. Yeah, I'm aiming at G Money, crying tears before I busted him. Because it's not like that. It's not like that in terms of the shots he takes at Drake are direct. I don't really fool with you like that. Like, it can be whatever it is you want it to be. J. Cole shots are meticulous jabs to just be like, what is this? And so when he says that, it's like, look, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. And like, I want to stay that way. I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. But it's the sport that I'm in. If this is what we're doing, I'm always going to be competitive, because the one thing that Cole has never been afraid to do, and is one of the themes we'll talk about with My Delete Later, is like, he is always putting people on notice.
The last time anybody was competing for the spot was the Control verse. We haven't felt this energy yet.
What did you think about like Might Delete Later as an overall project though?
I think that Might Delete Later is the kind of thesis that he provides on the album, which I spoke about earlier. He wants to make sure that the people have what he has in the can. If you're out here doing these 7-minute drills, then obviously you have some work that you want to put out. One of my favorite works on here was Pi featuring Daylight and Absol.
Dog.
And then the irony that Absol shows up here is,
didn't even peep that until you said it.
That just leads me to believe that there ain't no problem. It's just rap.
But like, this was also showing, like, when I said he was coming for people, he was coming for the fact that he's releasing the clip until it's freaking empty with these bars and these lyrics. And Pi was an excellent example of the fact that he continues to grow in lyricism is insane to me.
Right. Like, what happens when you practice? You know what I mean?
Like,
and you take it you take it seriously. This is your craft. This is your work.
Yeah.
And in my point of view, I feel like that should be everybody's focus when they come into making music. You're an artist. This is your lifelong craft. We're trying to show that hip hop is a lifelong pursuit, not just a fad. I think we're good on this. I think everybody should go check out Might Delete Later. Definitely check out 7 minute drill. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section. Let us know if you feel like we're wrong, we're right. I don't care. I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna move on with my life.
Also tell us like where you think they are in this battle. Do you think that Drake is gonna respond? I don't. But if you do, tell me why you think that he's going to respond, and if you are like what he has to do for that response to be something.
Yeah.
Until the next piece, a 1 and a 2 and peace.